and welcome to the Layer 2 show. Today we're talking to Steven, the co-founder of Arbitrum. Hello, Steven.
Hey, how are you? Great to be here.
Thank you for your time. Very excited to finally have you on the show. Was really looking forward to talk to you. Arbitrum is obviously super famous for paving the way for scalability for Layer 2. In our minds, this is one of the original Layer 2 solutions. So can you tell a little bit more to a simple user, let's say, I'm just a newbie in crypto, just started finding out a half year ago. What is Arbitrum? What will it enable to do? Will it open the doors to metaverse? Or what is this? What is this world?
Great questions, and thanks for the very kind words about Arbitrum. Yeah, I guess to a new user who's, I can go very, very deep on the technical stack, but a new user probably wouldn't be that interested in that. I guess the TLDR for a new user is that Arbitrum lets you do basically everything that Ethereum lets you do, using the same languages, using the same tools, even using the same bytecode, right? So everything that if you're a new developer or a developer on Ethereum and you spend time learning, say, Solidity or Viper, and you can basically port your knowledge over to Arbitrum instantly, because it uses the exact same languages, and most of the tooling is fully compatible. So why would you use Arbitrum? And the answer is it's a layer 2, so it derives its security from Ethereum, which means that you get the Ethereum core value of its security, but you also don't have to pay the high gas fees of Ethereum, because a lot of Arbitrum offloads a lot of that off the chain. What it basically does is it utilizes Ethereum space very effectively to compress and only put the minimal amount of data on Ethereum required, and takes a lot of that data off chain. So in practice, Arbitrum fees today are about 90% cheaper than Ethereum, and which is a great start. But we have some great upgrades in the pipeline that will take us to significantly lower than that even. So this is we're very happy about where we are today, but we also have a long roadmap where the fees are only going to get lower. And the other thing about Arbitrum, which is really nice, to a new user, may have played with Ethereum, and sometimes there's a delay in the average time of transaction confirmation is about 15 seconds, a little less. In Arbitrum, you get instant confirmation. So it takes some time till you get the actual full level of, it's confirmed on Ethereum, but the users are able to get at least instant confirmations from the Arbitrum sequencer. So they get that Web 2 experience that they are probably very used to. And it allows for really an overall great experience, faster responses and lower fees. And to your next part of your question, what is it going to enable? Is it going to enable us, the new wave of the metaverse? Really, we provide a platform, and then it's up to our users or the developers at Arbitrum to really provide the creativity of what they want to do with it. We give the tools, and we see some amazing DeFi projects in Arbitrum, lots of really strong DeFi, including many of the Ethereum projects that users are familiar with, as well as some other new projects, and also plenty of NFT projects coming on board as well. So, and it's really, the nice part is I don't have to guess I don't have to be as smart as our users. So people can use their imagination and say, hey, what are all the things I want to build on Ethereum, but I need lower fees for? Or what are all the fees I want to build, things I want to build on Ethereum, but a faster experience, faster confirmations, it will be helpful for that. And users can basically, and that's where we end and the developers begin. So I'm as excited as anyone else to see what are some of the amazing things that people will build on Arbitrum. There's a lot there today, but I think we're only starting off.
Yes, definitely. It's super exciting for the industry, for the users, and for the developers. We've been waiting for you guys to launch for such a long time, and really thank you for paving such a difficult way, actually. Rollups is a much more technically complicated solution to implement, as we know. So basically, to summarize, Arbitrum is fast and cheaper Ethereum that enables this, let's say, much more flexible universe of blockchain and DeFi applications, whatever that would be. Is it gaming, or will it be metaverse or decentralized finance?
Absolutely. I think the principle that drives us is we want really Ethereum in general to be as inclusive as possible. And lowering fees helps bring in more people. That might be different types of applications. So maybe it's DeFi for retail users, or NFT for up and coming artists and NFTs. You know, if an artist NFT is going to sell for $1, then having a gas fee that's many times that is problematic. So it enables, you know, newer artists to sell their art, for example, or it enables, it might be geographical, right? So a high fee for me sitting here in the United States might be, you know, might be a different consideration than someone sitting in some other country, and we may have, you know, different points of inclusion. And our point is, well, the way we include the most people is to get the fees lower, and that includes again both people geographically as well as types of projects, right? There are certain projects that are just priced out in Ethereum today. You can't have DeFi where users are trading $5 or $10 or even $100 in many cases, because the fees just end up eating away at the principal, and there's just you know, there's not much left to the trade, or sometimes you know, in some of those examples the fee might dwarf the actual amount being traded. So I think our principle is that as we take fees lower and lower, we're able to you know, bring in more users and more applications onto the ecosystem. But of course, we don't want to compromise the core values of the entire ecosystem to do that, right? So what are we even doing here? Decentralization and security, those are core, and those are compromises we're not willing to make, and the Ethereum community is not willing to make. And that's why Ethereum plus a layer 2, Ethereum plus Arbitrum is really a great solution, because unless you have your cake and eat it too, you can have a really, really strong solution, a really, really secure solution, you know, get the security derived from Ethereum, but also have the significantly lower fees. And that's what we're really excited about.
Right. So what is your vision to create a world of Arbitrum, or to lower the fees as much as possible to enable more DeFi applications for the whole Ethereum community? What does the vision look like?
Yeah, our vision looks like, you know, starting ready today, but fast forward 6 months or a year from now, we'll continue to lower our fees, as well as enable, you know, options that you know, continue, that are again interact with Arbitrum and bring even lower fees. Say bring in gaming and other industries that are now coming and touching the blockchain. And the way to do that again is to lower fees. So what is my vision? My vision is that much of the retail traffic, your average user that's using Ethereum will use a rollup like Arbitrum. So we'll come to Arbitrum. Ethereum will be something I think the average user, again, Ethereum's core, because Ethereum is the critical piece that's securing the whole thing. Arbitrum wouldn't exist without Ethereum, but the interface for the average user, you know, we believe is going to be Arbitrum. And it's important because, you know, you know, as we, you know, it's not only getting the apps on board, but it's also getting the infrastructure that are going to make that a possibility. For example, Binance recently integrated with Arbitrum, so that you can deposit funds from Arbitrum onto Binance, and really creating this integrated experience, I think, is what's going to be really helpful in seeing this vision out, right? We're not able to do it ourselves. We need basically community consensus, and that means having projects, that's apps, has exchanges, that's projects across the board, and of course users to use a solution. So what we are focusing on Arbitrum is really listening to the community and eliciting feedback and saying, what do you love about Arbitrum? What can we make better? And trying to say what pieces of the ecosystem are missing, and how can we sort of try to encourage them to join us as well, because this is a mission which is really a lot bigger than us. And we need really all the help we can get to get there, because it's definitely an ambitious goal that we have.
Yes. So in this decentralized world, where are the gates to Arbitrum? If I'm a developer, community member, how do I find the world of Arbitrum? You know, there is no doorbell to ring. Is it a Discord channel, Telegram? How do I find out and start developing or getting involved?
Yes, so we have a very active Discord community, and you can find that on our website. Our website is arbitrum.io. You can find the link to our Discord also on our Twitter. We're at Arbitrum. We have Twitter is a good place to follow as well for updates. Discord, if you want to actually engage in the conversation, you could be a developer, you can be a designer, you can just be a user that's curious. You can come to find us in Discord, and we're happy to answer questions, or even better, you know, we love when the community itself, you know, members of the community answer questions. That's the engagement that we you know, we hope for. So that's, you know, a place where all users are welcome, developer or non-developer, doesn't matter. So we have Discord. We also have, for developers, we have our developer docs. So that tells you how do you build on Arbitrum, and spoiler alert, it's really very similar to building on Ethereum. It's the same thing. You just switch your RPC endpoint from an Ethereum node to an Arbitrum node, and many of the top providers like Infura and Alchemy and Anchor and others are supporting Arbitrum as well. And I guess if you're a user and just wants to sort of play with Arbitrum and try it out, so the easiest thing to do is first visit our bridge. That's just bridge.arbitrum.io. You can deposit funds. If you have funds on Ethereum, you can move them over to Arbitrum. In Arbitrum, gas is paid in ETH, just like Ethereum. So if you want to do anything in Arbitrum, make sure to bridge over some ETH. And then you can try out some apps. And if you want to find those apps, the best place is the Arbitrum portal. It's not all the apps, but it's a lot of them. Portal.arbitrum.one. That's portal, portal.arbitrum.one.one. And you can find lots of apps there. And, we're adding new apps there every day. But really, I learned about apps on Arbitrum on Twitter as well. So it's a decentralized community. Anyone can the chain, we still have some administrative controls on the chain, but porting contracts, deploying contracts is fully open and permissionless. So anyone can do that. They don't need my permission. They don't need anybody's permission. And we learn about really cool projects every day. Just be a part of many ways to be a part of the community for developers, for users, really for anyone that's looking to join us. We're happy to have everyone on board.
That's very cool. Actually, I've tried some of the farms myself. One of the first ones. Was very curious to try it out to see how it works. And yes, bridged overly successful. Actually, I use the D-Gate bridged because
there you go.
it's removing the 7-day waiting period. Actually, can we explain to our listeners, let's focus on simple listeners, why do people have to wait 7-day withdrawal period back from Arbitrum to Ethereum Layer 1?
Excellent question. And fundamentally, this comes down to how Arbitrum, how we are secured by Ethereum, right? Because Arbitrum does a lot of work that's not on the Ethereum chain. And the way that we're secured by Ethereum is having Ethereum vouch for the correctness. We want to say, hey, Ethereum, we did all this work off chain, but we want to get the security from Ethereum. So we need Ethereum to say, okay, that's correct. Right? We need Ethereum to verify what's happening, even if it's not happening on the Arbitrum chain. And the mechanism that we have for that is what's known as interactive fraud proofs. And what that means is that we do all this execution off chain, and then we come back and say, hey, Ethereum, here's the state update. Here's what happened off chain. And we post that optimistically without any proof at all, right? So we post that optimistic. That's where the name optimistic rollup comes from. We just optimistically post this data on chain without any proof at all. And then we open up a window where someone can challenge that and say, hey, that's wrong. And then they can use these interactive fraud proofs to really, really effectively, Ethereum will then mediate the challenge. So the way that Ethereum verifies this without actually verifying it directly is by having this window in time and allowing anyone in the world to challenge it. And the property that Arbitrum has then is, as long as anyone is watching and will challenge something that's wrong, Ethereum will guarantee that the system will behave correctly. Because once someone challenges, we have a very efficient process in which Ethereum mediates and can help us remove the bad person and make sure that a bad state never gets confirmed. So the point is then, well, we need Ethereum we need to give time for users to post this to Ethereum. So when someone gives an update and says, hey, I want to withdraw my ETH to Ethereum, we can't let them process that just right away. We have to have this sort of we do a 7-day window. 7 days not magical. It's just sort of where the community has come to terms with that number. There's a social consensus basically on that number that 7 days is a fair amount of time for that to happen. We give 7 days essentially then for anyone to post a proof. So that means a fraud proof. So anyone if anyone sees if there's something wrong in the chain, as long as anyone can get a transaction disputing that within 7 days, they'll be able to engage in this challenge process. And the follow-up question that many ask is, well, does that mean that Arbitrum doesn't have finality for 7 days? Does that mean that my transaction has to wait for 7 days? And the answer is not really. In practice, it really only affects withdrawals. because the system continues operating as anything internal to the system continues operating. So you can trade and transact. And if you're running a node yourself, or you're watching Etherscan and rely on them, or some other node provider, you know the contents of the chain right away. And not only do you know the contents of the chain right away, you know, hey, if someone else challenges me, I know that I'll win. So you're very, very confident that as long as you, again, either run a node or trust someone running a node, you're very confident that, you know, what you see today will be correct. It's just Ethereum is the one that doesn't know. We have to give Ethereum these 7 days. So if something's wrong, Ethereum can correct it. And in practice, the only thing that's really affected by this is withdrawals from the chain. So you can continue trading and doing all that, but with native withdrawals takes 7 days. I'll add one more piece though, which is, but as you know, there are plenty of bridging projects, and maybe you could tell us more about that allow us to get around the 7-day withdrawal and enable fast bridging into and out of Arbitrum. Well, into Arbitrum, you know, fast bridging is even on the protocol layer, but there are bridges that provide this faster experience. So even though the protocol has a 7-day delay, there are paths for users through bridges and also through exchanges like Binance, which I mentioned before. If you're a Binance user, you can just deposit your funds immediately to Binance from Arbitrum. So in practice, we think that for fungible assets, the 7-day window is not something that should really affect the average user.
Yes, I think that you are referring to DGIT bridge, and the users have been reporting very favorable experience, saying that it's super fast and cheap. So definitely recommend everyone to try it out when they want to go to Arbitrum and back.
Absolutely.
You know, so many people now are curious to get into crypto, to develop or to do something. What does the day of Steven look like?
Yeah, it's a great question. A lot of conversations, a lot of internal conversations, trying to speak with teams, both teams that are building on us, as well as new teams, trying to understand, hey, what's working for them, what do they need? Maybe educate them as to what Arbitrum is. Maybe hear their feedback as to what they need from Arbitrum, and then also work with the team and the road, build a roadmap to try to address those issues and make sure that what we're doing is aligning with what users need. So it's really educating, bringing in users, bringing in developers, and also eliciting feedback and making sure that our roadmap continues to match what the community wants. And a lot of it actually is hiring and looking for really the strongest developers. So shameless pitch here, which is if you're a strong developer and looking or a strong, we have other non-developer roles as well, business roles and many other roles. Take a look at our job site, please apply to join us. We are actively hiring and we're fully remote.
I'll definitely make sure that I leave the links below this video. So Steven, you were mentioning your roadmap. What is the most exciting thing this year? Perhaps not a lot of left to this year, or next year. What's exciting you most?
I think the most exciting thing is going to be Arbitrum Nitro, which is our big upgrade coming that will effectively, it's not to get too technical, it's going to do a lot of things that are really cool. But the thing that users will notice is fees will go down a lot. And, it will be even more compatible with EVM. So certain internal toolings that don't work today will work. Today most tooling works, but really everything will work at that point. So Arbitrum Nitro is definitely the upgrade to keep out for. Again, it's a super interesting technical update and something that we're really excited about, and it's very far along internally, and I can't wait to push that out to the public. And if you're a user that just doesn't care about the tech, just cares about the experience, what you'll get is an even cheaper experience, probably about 50% than what we have today.
Wow, you guys are super cool. You've been working so hard, and you're working even harder to bring us better experience. Really, thank you from all the community, from all the Ethereum supporters, from all the crypto supporters for paving this way.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate it. Great to talk to you, and really excited to see where us working together and both our teams and the community where this all goes, and really excited to build the future here of Layer 2 together as a community.
Thank you very much, Steven, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Take care.